safety to present the 2025-2026. It's hard to believe I'm saying that, school safety plan. My job for the district in keeping children and families and staff safe is it's relatively easy. It's making sure that the plan is in full compliance with state education department requirements, and I can report confidently to the Board of Education superintendent and the community that the plan itself exceeds expectations. Byron and his incredible team of safety officers have a very difficult, challenging plan of making sure that everybody stays safe. So Byron is really going to lead this presentation. I'm going to skip a slide just with the safety team. There were no substantive changes required by the state education department to the plan itself this year, but we did make two significant internal changes to our plan, which is why it exceeds NYSED expectations, and that is including expanded guidance on visitors to our school, and that's really, really important when you consider the larger social political environment in which we live and operate and support our students and families. And also we added information related to extreme heat condition days. So Byron's going to expand on those two areas where we vastly expanded the plan this year. And with that, Mr. Byron McRae.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm going to start off basically just giving you a little overview of what we've done in the district and what we are doing. So basically, this year we've made a lot of changes. Since July 1st, we've opened up with the community and we're interacting with the community. We started a school safety training program for our community members. Actually, the first class will be on Monday, where we have 106 people registered who will be in attendance in this room, taking the school, the 8-hour pre-assignment class. This will enable them to get their security license. Once they've completed their class, they fill out the application, go get fingerprinted, and they'll get their security license, and hopefully we can hire them here. So we'll at least have more community members working within our school district. The next thing is we're going to continue training our students who need the assistance, and some people, like I mentioned earlier, don't want to go, I mentioned during the school year, don't want to go to college. So they want to go out and they want to get straight into the workforce, so we're preparing them. And the superintendent is responsible for this. She's basically allowing the school safety department to do these things, and I appreciate you, Wanda, for making that happen. All right? Also, we're going to move on with the district-wide safety team. The district-wide safety team is basically all the leadership within the school district that's responsible for making changes. This is why we try to put people on the board who can actually participate in change. I'm going to go a little bit slower because the person who's translating made sure she gave me a warning. So she said, make sure you go slow so I can translate. So this is why I'm going to pause every once in a while. So we're going to move on. As Vincent mentioned earlier about the expanded visitor school guidance to align with draft policy 1240, everyone is aware, or hopefully you're aware, last year we put in multiple areas, secure areas when you walk in. The old name was called man traps. I don't like that name, so I call it people trap or secure area. This will actually prevent people from going directly inside the building before not being screened. They have to be screened first before they're allowed in the building. So this was put in place in 6 or 7 of our elementary schools. This summer we're going to be installing the additional 3 and maybe the freshman center, and then hopefully the following year we'll complete the district. But as it stands now, our visitor policy has changed. So employee entry, everyone has to go through a separate doorway. Our students will sign in if they're late. They'll be allowed in the morning. The security vestibule usage will be used for anyone that comes for scheduled appointments or, of course, uninvited guests, and they will not be allowed to enter the building. We will deal with them in the trap, and security will be manning the vestibule, but someone will be manning it if it's not school safety, which 99% of the time will be school safety, but outside of that, we will have somebody manning the door traps. Addressing threats in security vestibules, we have cameras there, we have a response team within the district. If there is a crisis, crisis that we need to respond to, we will assemble and we will respond to that school. Notifications, we have buttons and equipment by the front desk, whereas if there is an emergency at the front desk, we'll get the notification at our safety center, which monitors the district 24/7 and is manned by no less than 2 people, 24 hours a day. During the day, of course, there's a lot more people monitoring the camera system because we have a lot more people in attendance. But as it stands now, in 4 to 12, 12 to 8 shift, we have 2 people monitoring the cameras. We have lockdown procedures that are put into place. These lockdown procedures will be activated if we have a situation where we feel that there's an actual threat. And also, which is the additional security that was just put into my budget for this year, the middle schools will have 2 full-time guards, and all the elementary schools will have a full-time guard and a part-time guard. And this will enable the guards to escort people into the building where they won't be alone in the facility. So if they do have a scheduled appointment or they have to go to the nurse's office, someone can escort them in the building. As far as checking out, anyone that's screened that comes in, they'll receive a pass, and that pass will be when they leave the building. And of course, no tailgating in the facility. Once you're finished whatever you're doing in our district, we ask that you please leave the facility, and it will be enforced. Extreme heat conditions, this is a policy this is something that we've been doing all along, but now it's actually policy that we follow through because we have been concerned prior to this policy about our students within the district. And of course, these things have been implemented in writing now, so everyone can actually see in the district what we've been doing and what the administrators in the buildings have been doing. So what we do in extreme heats, when it reaches 82 degrees, we turn off the lights, we pull down the shades, turn on fans, and most of the classrooms now, which our superintendent made sure and the board, that they have ACs and open doors, windows, increase ventilation, turn off electronics. If it's a certain temperature, we're not going to do any drills, and we're going to make sure we provide breaks for our students that need that assistance. Okay, these are things, like I said, that we didn't just institute. This is not new. This is something we've been doing. We just we documented it now so we can share with the rest of the community and everyone in the school district. Continuing on with the extreme heat conditions, indoor response measures, actions considered when temperatures reach 88 degrees. We move students to a cooler location, so if there is a classroom with an air conditioner and one without, we'll move those students into that classroom or an area where there is cooler temperatures, and which is very difficult because we have a lot of people within the school district that work, but closing school early is something the superintendent will consider if need be, and make the decision whether to close school early. Now, of course, we take early action when we are aware that the temperature is going to be a certain degree. We prepare, like today, we knew it was going to rain, so the fire drills that we had scheduled for today, we canceled. So these are some of the things that we predetermine before the day starts, and we do look at the weather conditions. So if they come into the building and we know the temperature is going to be extreme, we're going to put everything in place that I just mentioned earlier. Now, these are some of the district-wide safety plans that we do and within the school district, and that we're prepared to respond to, react to threats and acts of violence. We have student and community relation officers that are prepared during school hours when students are in attendance to respond to any type of crisis or threat to the school district. We have a great working relationship with law enforcement, parents, and guardians, and we work to communicate with them if there's any type of situation. Hopefully tomorrow, Monday, when I have these district members coming in to be trained in security, I can actually have the opportunity to take 15, 20 minutes and explain what we do here and how to respond in situations so they can share that information with other people. I do have a waiting list of 73 people that are Spanish speaking, so I'm going to hold a Spanish speaking security class. So those people will also will be able to get their security license. And if need be, we'll get a Creole speaker and we'll have someone teach a class in Creole. But we've established prevention and intervention techniques to foster better communication efforts with the school community. We're constantly out there communicating with them. And some of the things that we do to help our students along the way is we go visit them at home, sit in the living room with their parents or guardian, and we come up with a plan for success. And the administrators are buying into this, amazingly. They love this. They love the fact that we communicate with them, and then they're able to send us out to the home to see what's going on. And of course, Suffolk County Police Department loves us because they got tired of doing wellness visits and they kept complaining about it, but now they're happy that we can let them know, listen, you need to come to this household. We checked it out. It's something it's of concern. Yearly school safety training. Every year, our school safety officers are trained. They're 8-hour annual, and they're given 4 to 5 different trainings on crisis prevention, de-escalation techniques, also, how to pick up something and how to deal with unruly parents, or basically how to respond to certain crises when our students need assistance. We have our safety drills, which 12 drills a year. We're doing earthquake drills, which is now to 13, and distributing early risk information. We send out stuff to our students. This year, the superintendent had me send out safety techniques for our kids during the summer who ride their bikes without helmets. Some of the things where students are in the streets riding these motor scooters. So I sent out some information to the district to basically give them some safety techniques and let the parents know that these are some concerns that the school district's concerned with, and we want them to be concerned as well. Also, hiring and training staff on safety protocols. All of our school safety officers, we train them at least 4 weeks. We try to give them at least 4 weeks worth of training. Sometimes it's not enough, and the ones that are working other jobs, because most of them come on to us part-time, we try to bring them in on the weekend. But I promise you, we want to make sure that they're trained within the first 4 to 6 weeks on some type of de-escalation techniques and crisis response. Now, these are the normal terms that we use within our school safety. These are the terminologies that I need everyone to know, especially in the community and within the school district. It's basically shelter in place. This is where you're dealing with severe weather and the elements. Shelter in place is used for, like I mentioned last year, I never expected an earthquake in my life in New York, but we had one. So now we're prepared to deal with that type of situation because of the earthquake that we had. Then hold in place. Hold in place is usually instituted when we have a situation where someone's sick within a classroom and we need the students to remain in the classroom. We just do a hold in place so the EMTs can respond and take the person out the building without any students in the hallways. Evacuation. That, of course, is if there's some type of gas leak, some type of water leak, explosion, hazardous material spill. We evacuate our students. We'll move them into safety zones that we already have predetermined prior to. We have areas that we take our students to. And then we have the lockout. The lockouts are basically the threats on the exterior of the building, okay, during our lockouts. What we do is we send additional units to that building that's on lockout. And normally how a building is put into lockout, we receive notification from Suffolk County Police Department. We see that there's something going on in the exterior of the building that's alarming. So what we do is we put that building on lockout. And of course, the administrators in the building can put their building on lockout if they see something concerning outside that they feel could overflow within the school district. Lockdown is when that threat is inside the building. This is where we're going to respond aggressively because we want to protect our students and staff within the district, and we're going to notify Suffolk County Police Department, and 9 times out of 10, we're going to get there before them because we're in the district. So we're going to take action immediately to neutralize the threat. The responsibilities of the district safety team, we assess vulnerability of the school district, violence. We have our student and community relations officers that go around. They do assess the buildings. They speak to the administrators in the building. We ask them what recommendations they make, and we do note it down, and we give it to the assistant superintendent of business, and she'll review it. We recommend proactive measures to maintain a safe school environment. Of course, we recommend training. I do go out and I do multiple trainings within the school buildings, especially, things that relate to workplace violence. We give out information. We communicate with the buildings on their safety plan. The first month of school, we'll develop a safety plan within each building within the district. and we'll have it prepared, security in the building. This year, we'll be responsible for learning that safety plan, because normally I know they just review it, but I need them to learn the safety plan, so the administrator in the building and security assigned to that building, they're on the same page. We're developing response plans to active violence, addressing threats made by students against themselves, including suicide. And this is something that we take serious in this district. For the last 3 years, we've come up with plans to respond to our students who are in crisis, not just in school, outside of school. So if we have a student that's looking up something that they shouldn't be looking up, especially threats of harm to themselves or others, we're going to go knock on their door and find out what's going on in that household and ask them what's going on and speak to their parents. Okay, so and then the information is given to the administrator in the building, and then the administrator in the building will follow up. Emergency and local government agencies, we've developed a rapport with a lot of agencies within the school district, the American Association of Poison Control, American Red Cross, and just so you know, I made it my business to make sure that, you know, I developed a relationship with majority of these organizations, because the truth is, when there's an emergency, it's very difficult to reach someone. So a lot of the leadership in these departments have given me their cell phone numbers, their home numbers, so I'm able to reach them at any hour if we have some type of hazard within the school district. Southside Hospital, I met with the president, Suffolk Ambulatory, Suffolk County Water Authority, I'm very familiar with. Suffolk County Police Department, familiar with the commissioner. Suffolk County Youth Bureau, very familiar, and the town supervisor. So if there is an emergency, this district, we're able to respond effectively, because we're able to get the support we need from these agencies immediately. Workplace violence prevention, as I mentioned earlier, I go around to the district the first month of school. I do the workplace violence policy. I explained it to everyone in the district, and I'm going to do it again this year. It's a short presentation, and we discuss workplace violence along with other safety measures that we do in the district. We have our SAVE legislation, DASA, which is our DASA reports. These DASA reports are fully investigated and responded to, and we do respond to whoever files the DASA. Okay, code of conduct is always updated. Vincent makes sure now that he reviews it, creates policy when it's needed. Violent incident reporting, we look into it. Fingerprinting of all employees within the district. We do not give IDs, or try not to give IDs to anyone in this district who has not been fingerprinted. We do a full check, and we do, if they have any interactions with any agency, with especially law enforcement, we'll be notified immediately. Child abuse reporting, we're mandated reporters. We do take this serious. We have a working relationship with ACS. I actually met with the Deputy Commissioner about 2 weeks ago, and we tried to figure out a working way of working with them a little bit closer, because the information that we're given and we see in the system sometimes is outdated, so we need them to keep us updated when things change within the family court system. And especially whistleblower protection, if someone divulges some information to us, we'll make sure we protect them and not divulge who gave us that information. Promoting safe schools. Basically, we have guidance counselors, social workers, school psychologists, and yes, they're amazing. We use them when we run into situations when we're out on the road dealing with these students who are in crisis. These counselors, social workers, and school psychologists step up to the plate, and they make sure that these kids are referred to the appropriate services, and they're just amazing in this district. Conflict resolution, including restorative practices. This is something else that's been working effectively within the school district. And character education programs, health curriculum causing skill development and problem solving, and crisis prevention intervention training for all staff. This year, 2 years ago, we started this. Majority of the people are trained in this school district, especially our administrators. A lot of them will be expiring soon, towards the end of this year. So we're going to go in and train every single administrator again and renew their license and make sure that they're all have their blue card for crisis prevention intervention. Promoting positive school climate, academic response to intervention, athletic help and athletes, Welcome Center, Girls Inc. These are the different programs that are used within the school district that we refer our students to for assistance, and programs that they attend. They're a great support network, and we're going to continue working with them as long as they assist us with our students and support them in the same manner that we support them. The Board of Education approving district-wide safety plan. So this safety plan will be posted on the website for 30 days. You have the opportunity to review it, comment. Myself or Vincent will respond, of course, after we consult with the superintendent of schools. And well, we hope if you have any issues, you can reach out to us directly. If there's something that you're concerned with, or you're unclear about something in this presentation or within the plan that we post on the district website, just reach out to me, and I'll answer any question to make you feel a little bit more comfortable. The Board of Education will consider this. If there's no, rebuttals or anything that's unanswered, it will be approved hopefully at the business meeting, October 21st, 2025. Myself, the Director of School Safety, will continue to facilitate safety assemblies with students district-wide, which will include fire safety components and earthquake drills. And this is something that's new in the 2024-25 school year with the earthquake drills. And we all know why now we have to do earthquake drills, because we actually had one. As far as the student safety assemblies, yes, well, the good part is one of the supervisors within our school district is a captain at the Brentwood Fire Department. He's the safety officer. So we're able to facilitate firemen and fire officers to come over and work with our students and do fire training with them, and also, do presentations on fire safety. This is something that's been very useful, and this year we're going to make sure we hit every building. As far as safety of our students, this is something that we're going to do all year long. It's not going to be initially in the beginning. We're going to do it all through the year. We're going to stop through the buildings. And yes, these presentations are given in English and Spanish, and this year it will be given in Creole. Any questions?
Thank you, Byron, for that informative presentation. I thank you for clarifying that quite a few of the items that you presented today have been implemented in the district, and we are just now putting pen to paper so that the community and the school community is aware of our intention and our plans and formalizing it in a rather effective way. So we appreciate all of your efforts, that of yourself and your staff. I know we all can say that we feel very safe here in Brentwood with yourself and your staff, and you represent us very well. Thank you.
No problem. No questions, right?
No, I just want to say something, Byron. Byron, while I heard you speak and give the presentation, I felt such a sense of pride. I know we can be brothers and sisters, but I felt like your mom. I really did for a moment. I really did. And I kept thinking about, because everything that is here, I see it in action. I know the new steps, the guards that you decided that we needed, and you go to, we meet with the committee, the safety committee, and your advocacy for our students and our community is really, it's just something that I don't have a word for it. I really don't know. I don't have that, and I do want to say thank you on behalf of our students and the community. Everything that you brought here and that you will want to continue to bring here is definitely for the safety of our students in the schools, the staff, and also for the broader community. Just bring in the programs because you do care. I just have to commend you for that. I kudos to you and to your entire staff. You know how proud I am of them. And I feel the emotion, because I know that what is here, as you mentioned, we are doing this. This is not about compliance. This is about our safety of our students and the connections that we're making, because safety is not just about having a security guard or a police officer. It goes beyond that, and you know that. And I just want to say thank you. Excellent presentation, and thank you for everything that is here. Thank you for everyone who has been doing this.
So we appreciate it from my staff and myself. We appreciate the kudos. I appreciate it. Right now, I'm going to bring back up Vincent, who's going to take over and do the tough part.
So thank you for this opportunity. I'm going to muster as much emotion as I possibly can to talk about this student electronic device survey. So thank you to the Board of Education, our superintendent, community, everybody here, for joining me this evening to discuss Policy 5695, draft proposed prospective Policy 5695, student and personal electronic devices, and the survey that we administered in June. Before I start, just some unscripted ideas. There's really limited flexibility within this law. We surveyed expansively all of our stakeholders, and the ingenuity of the Brentwood community never ceases to amaze me. So we got some amazing ideas on things that perhaps we should consider, but just a reminder that there really was very limited flexibility within the law, things that we're actually able to do. The second big point I'd like to communicate is that this will not be, this new policy, a significant shift or departure from current reality at the elementary level and the middle school level. Mr. Gangler, our superintendent, supported by the Board of Education, has done a remarkable job over the past couple of years with prepares and cares. And there really has been very little or limited or decreasing disruption when it comes to student use of personal electronic devices at the elementary and middle level. So there isn't going to be a whole heck of a lot of change or disruption there. At the high school, however, it has the potential to be seismic, a seismic change. And I don't use that word often, so that when we do, it has some gravitas. Current reality and policy up till now has been that our students have been allowed to use personal electronic devices at the high school during non-instructional time. That means when they're having lunch. That means during passing. And the new law is very clear that that is prohibited. So that is going to be a significant culture shift at the high school. There's $96,400 available to us through Chapter 53 to support infrastructure to store cell phones. With 18,000 students, respectively, thank you very much, State Education Department. That money is not going to go a very long way. The other thing to keep in mind is that Brentwood is a one-to-one device district. The vast majority of our students have one-to-one devices. So just a reminder that the ban is on student personal electronic devices that connect to the internet. Any district-provided device that connects to the internet can be used. So much of the commentary that we receive from parents and families about the concern about using devices in an educational way, students will still be able to do that using their district-enabled devices. With all that said, let us begin our presentation, I hope. Some background. In accordance with Education Law 2803, all New York State public schools are required to adopt a bell-to-bell ban on student use of personal electronic devices, defined as those devices that connect to the internet during the school day effective in the fall 2025. To ensure that our policy reflected community needs and values, the district conducted 3 expansive parallel surveys in June, receiving responses from 2,228 students, grades 6 through 12, that may or may not surprise you. The students had things they wanted to say in this regard. 542 professional staff and 532 parents and guardians. An executive summary, which covers the whole arc of surveys, reveals student results reveal strong alignment. Survey results, again, it's an aggregate of all 3. Strong alignment around key priorities. Access to communication with families. Structured and equitable storage expectations. Limited exceptions for health or special education needs, and fair, progressive enforcement. Students advocated for responsible use and access during non-instructional time, which were unable to provide pursuant to the law, while staff and parents emphasized safety and the need for instructional time with limited distraction. Draft Policy 5695 reflects this input through tiered expectations by grade level, a limited exception framework, clear communication procedures, and annual equity reporting, which is going to begin in the fall of 2026. Reasons cited for less or more restriction. So the primary reason cited for less restriction, and again, this was across the arc of the 3 stakeholder surveys: family communication during emergencies and transitions before and after school. The State Education Department gave explicit rationale included in this bell-to-bell cell phone ban as being emergencies, and the complications that students having access to devices during emergencies cause, the spread of misinformation and the interference with emergency response personnel to respond effectively when there was a lot of people coming to the school. This is something you've heard Mr. McCray Byron talk about before. Mental health support. So again, primary reasons for less restriction. Mental health support, music, calming apps, private breaks, educational tools, calculators, research, academic apps. A reminder, we're a one-to-one school district device. Respect for student agency and digital responsibility. Primary reasons cited for more restriction: distraction from instruction and reduced academic engagement, social concerns, cyberbullying, inappropriate recording, mental health impacts of screen addiction and social media, inequity in access, creating feelings of exclusion, burden on staff to enforce inconsistent classroom rules. Analysis of open-ended survey feedback, student themes. Students emphasize safety and the importance of being able to reach their families. Many cited music and brief app breaks as coping mechanisms for stress and anxiety. Some acknowledged phones are distracting, but advocated for personal responsibility. A frequent suggestion was allow use during lunch or with teacher permission. Again, solutions or suggestions that are not available to us pursuant to the new law. Staff deans, support for limiting access during instructional time, concern about time lost managing phone-related behavior, support for medically necessary or IEP 504-based exceptions, calls for centralized, consistent enforcement. Parent guardian themes. There was strong support for access in emergencies via structured systems. And I'll give you a glimpse at the draft policy. Parents and students and families are going to be able to communicate through various means and mediums. Emphasis on equity in enforcement and consistent expectations, support for medically documented and legally required exceptions, varied opinions on allowing devices in middle and high school, with many families preferring stricter limits in earlier grades. Some student highlights, 2,282 responses. 84%, now this is grades 6 through 12, so this surprised me a little bit. Only 84% of students 6 through 12 bring smartphones to school. That means 16% do not. So those feelings of exclusion for students that do not is something I never considered before. 71% want access to contact their families during the school day. Almost half of them, 1,096, oppose forced storage. 13% support a full-day ban. 44% understand what's happening, but have expressed concerns. Staff highlights. Support for different storage options, classroom caddies, lockers, locking pouches. 73% are confident that they can manage exceptions. They emphasized fairness and consistency repeatedly, our staff, in enforcing the policies. Parent and family highlights 76% say contact with children during the day is very important. 64% support students bringing phones to school. Top storage preferences, classroom bins, and lockers. So this table communicates alignment between the themes that were revealed in our extensive survey and what we see in draft policy 5695. So while there was limited flexibility that was available to us, we ensured to the extent possible that that flexibility was informed by what the preferences and priorities of our stakeholders, our students, our parents, and our families. So family communication was a theme that was repeated, very, very important during the school day. Family communication is going to be permitted via school offices and through district-owned and operated platforms. We're not sure just yet what those platforms are. Could be through Microsoft Teams, could be through eSchool Parent Portal, could be through Parent Square. But using their district-issued devices, one-to-one device, students and families will be able to communicate during the school day through a district-owned and operated platform, or they go to the office, not just say the main office, because there are many offices, particularly at the high school, and will be able to call their families just like we did when we were in school. Storage preferences are going to be tiered by level. So elementary schools, just the way it's been for quite some time, no schools are permitted in the school building. So there is no storage solution necessary at the elementary level. At the middle and high school level, students are going to be permitted to power down their phones, silence them, power down, turn off, and store them in lockers, a district-provided laptop case or locking pouch, and that's the middle school and high school. And at the high school level, students are going to be allowed to keep their phones powered down, powered off in their backpacks. Those locking pouches, the plan is to have a scaffolded, phased implementation. It's not going to get very far with $96,000, but we're going to start, I believe, at the high school, starting with the phased implementation to build infrastructure to store devices, to allow students to store devices more permanently. Summary of draft policy 5695 provisions. 5695, draft 5695 establishes grade level appropriate expectations for student use of personal electronic devices informed by stakeholder input and grounded in the New York State bell-to-bell mandate. Storage requirements. Just went over it. I'll say it quickly again. Elementary school, no devices allowed in the building. Middle school, students are discouraged from bringing devices to school. They may. If brought to school, student devices must be silenced and stored in a district-provided locking pouch, a district-provided laptop case, or school locker. High school, exactly the same. Add the layer of backpack. So different storage options at different levels, responsive to the input of our stakeholders. Communication between families and students. Communication will be permitted via school offices or through district-owned and operated software platforms. Students will not have, they will have direct access to them in some cases, but they will not be allowed to utilize their phones during the school day except as permitted under policy exceptions. Those policy exceptions include students with an IEP or 504 plan that specifically references the device use. And that's something that our Assistant Superintendent of Special Services, Rhonda Young, confirmed for us during our last conversation. Students with documented medical needs that require access to a device, for example, diabetes or asthma, those will be exceptions to the policy. Use of non-internet connected devices, and those are electronic devices. They do not connect to the internet. State Education Department has given examples, headphones, earbuds, fitness trackers, these sorts of things. Very similar to how we will treat devices that do connect to the internet. Students are discouraged from bringing them to school. If students do bring such devices to school, they must be stored for the entire day in book bags at the high school, lockers, district-provided laptop cases or pouches, and they must be silenced and not used unless permission is granted by the principal. These devices may only be used during authorized times consistent with building expectations. Next steps. Finalize and adopt a policy. That would be at our August 21st business meeting. Translate and distribute to families. We are in the process of conceiving, designing, crafting, creating, through different means and mechanisms, training and educational experiences for folks to really communicate why is this happening, why is it being done, what are the benefits of, and really helping people understand and encouraging folks to help us. Because there is no question, we are going to need help. Everybody's help, everybody's cooperation, all of us working together. It's in the best interest of our kids, there is no doubt. We will develop transparent expectation protocols and family resources, monitor and adjust as necessary policies, practices, and procedures. Something I did not talk about here, and I may have missed it, but consequences somewhere in here. So in our policy, and this is something that was revealed as a concern across the arc of all of our surveys, so no student can be suspended for merely violating this policy, no out-of-school suspension for just violating the policy. It's going to be a progressive approach to discipline. The first time, for example, a student is in violation of the policy, that student will surrender the device to the school office. She will be able to pick it up herself in the afternoon. The second time there's an infraction, a parent will have to come up and pick up the device. The consequences for violating the procedures are going to be centered around restoration. We're going to be restorative. We're going to educate. We're going to communicate. And it's about bringing students back into the fold, into our family, into the community. So in no way, shape, or form is our approach ever meant to be, in any context, punitive, and this is no exception. So we will take every opportunity to listen, to empathize, to communicate, and to educate our children as far as consequences are concerned. Are there any questions? Comments? Or cries of outrage?
I do have a question, I'm sorry. You referenced the valid point about the $96,000 some odd dollars and that being insufficient. Do you have a range that you think would be more realistic to provide better support?
Oh boy, to build infrastructure, to the spirit, of the law is to restrict access, student to restrict access to their phones. That's going to require development of significant infrastructure. Hassan, I have no idea how much it would cost. It would cost a lot. And not just in money, and that may be, money's very important, time, which may be equally as important. So personnel, infrastructure for managing, implementing, developing, monitoring, it's a staggering prospect. That is why I think the superintendent, has been very wise, thinking about a phased implementation and taking it slow, and taking it one step at a time, evaluating. We're going to be in very close contact with other school districts across the state, certainly here on Long Island, to see who's coming up with solutions, how. We'll do so in a way that's the most cost-effective possible, and potentially even more importantly in ways that disrupt our systems, the educational experience for students and families as little as possible. I know the spirit of the law is to limit distraction, and sometimes you have to take a step back before you can take two steps forward. So So this may be a little disruptive for us. We anticipate that it will be. I know the spirit of this law is to ultimately get to a place where distraction is limited. So we hold that hope for ourselves, but it's going to cost, and it's going to take time.
Any other questions from the board? So just wanted to thank you so much because I know this was not an easy task, and we know how our students and parents feel about this type of implementation, where it's kind of almost a sense of censorship. At least that's how it feels. And communication, you know, the advancement of it, which is much different from our generation. Many of us rely on cell phones to communicate at every level. So I know it's going to take some time to kind of retrain, so to speak, mindsets and understanding and having our families understand that this is the compliance that is necessary for us to be in compliance with the state law. It's not necessarily our personal view, but it is a necessary action that must be taken by the district to be in compliance with state law. So thank you for your thorough presentation and for ensuring that our stakeholders had an opportunity to chime in and give their input on their concerns. It's, you know, it's refreshing to see that people are taking the time to answer the surveys and be part of the process. And additionally, I'd like to thank Ms. Julia Burgos, who is the chair of our safety committee, and Ms. Cindy Safari, who is the chair for our policy committee, as well as several of our other board members who participate in those committees to bring forth solutions to critical issues for our district. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time and dedication in that regard.
Well said, Eileen. You know, exactly, those are my words. So, I just want to say thank you for your leadership, Vincent, with this. The committee, I know this was not an easy policy to work. It took a long time to get where you are right now. You really thought about this. You thought about our students, our parents, and you can see it. You can see that you did this. One thing that I want to ensure the community and the staff also is that we don't want to create more stress. And this is the reason why you're working so hard to ensure that there's transparency, that they took part of the process also, and a video that we are going to begin to showcase now. I believe that it's going to be ready probably mid-August, right? They said 3 to 4 weeks.
Yes.
That is really for students, for staff, so they know what is coming. They are not just going to start here in September 3rd, right? And then say no phones. So the parents can have the opportunity to speak to the students about this policy that we have in place and the benefits of it. So, you know, every challenge we see it as an opportunity to make things better, and that's the focus that we have to see. As I said, it's not about we are censoring this. This is not something that is going to happen here. Let's try to spin it a little bit and see if we can make this somehow be in a positive things for everyone, for the kids. And thank you so much for this. Cindy, Brandon, I know Marlene, Maria, Malave, that's what it is, yes. For being part of it, and Brandon, he just said for a minute, but thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to move forward with questions on agenda items only. Any questions, comments on agenda items only? Okay. All right. Consent agenda. Be it resolved that the following items be approved, B2A through B2L. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Julia Burgos. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Cindy Safari. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Be it resolved, the following items be approved. C1B. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Cindy Safari. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Julia Burgos. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1A, appointments, resignations, and leaves, certificated personnel. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the certificated personnel action report contained in the board packet for the July 17, 2025 board meeting. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Hassan Ahmed. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Maria Malave. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1B, appointments, resignations, and leaves, non-certificated personnel. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves the non-certificated personnel action report contained in the board packet for the July 17, 2025 board meeting. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Julia Burgos. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Brandon Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1C, denial of leave of absence. Be it resolved that the Board of Education rescinds its prior approval on July 8, 2025 of a leave of absence for professional staff member Stephanie Dunif for the period of September 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, and expressly denies such leave of absence request, and be it further resolved that the Superintendent of Schools and/or her designee is directed to notify said member of the denial of her request for a leave of absence for the period from September 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Brandon Garcia. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Cindy Safari. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1D, creation of administrative position, website specialist. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby creates the position website specialist effective July 17, 2025, and be it further resolved that the above newly created position shall be an 11-month full-time position which shall be accreted to the BIPSO, and be it further resolved that effective July 17, 2025, the table of organization shall be amended to reflect that the website specialist shall report to the Director of Information, Technology, and Libraries. And be it further resolved that the website specialist shall be remunerated at a salary set forth in the negotiated agreement between the Brentwood Union Free School District and the Brentwood Principals and Supervisors Organization, BIPSO. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Maria Malave. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Hassan Ahmed. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1E, Salary and Benefits Agreement. Be it resolved that the Board of Education appoints Lindsay Denninger as District Clerk effective August 6, 2025, and be it further resolved that the Board President is authorized to execute a salary and benefits agreement with the District Clerk, which agreement has been reviewed by the Board of Education. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Cindy Safari. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Brandon Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1F, Administrative Table of Organization, Coordinator of Math and Business. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints Amanda Cohan as Coordinator of Math and Business for a 4-year probationary period effective August 15, 2025 through August 14, 2029, at a salary set forth in the negotiated agreement between the Brentwood Union Free School District and the Brentwood Principals and Supervisors Organization, BIPSO. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Maria Malave. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Julia Burgos. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. Congratulations, Amanda. D1G, Administrative Table of Organization. Coordinator of Career and Technical Education, CTE, and Student Workforce Development. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby appoints Anthony Ketterer as Coordinator of Career and Technical Education, CTE, and Student Workforce Development for a 4-year probationary period effective August 15, 2025 through August 14, 2029, at a salary set forth in the negotiated agreement between the Brentwood Union Free School District and the Brentwood Principals and Supervisors Organization, BIPSO. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Hassan Ahmed. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Brandon Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. Congratulations. D1H, BTA Settlement Agreement. Be it resolved that the Board President is authorized to execute a memorandum of agreement dated July 16, 2025 with the Brentwood Teachers Association in settlement of grievances filed by the Brentwood Teachers Association on October 24, 2024, June 17, 2025, and June 20th, 2025. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Brandon Garcia. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Maria Malave. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1I, Last Chance Agreement. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education hereby approves a last chance agreement dated July 17, 2025, between a certain staff member, Local 237, City Employees, Union International, Brotherhood of Teamsters, and the Board of Education of the Brentwood Union Free School District, and that the President of the Board of Education is authorized to execute the last chance agreement on behalf of the district. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Brandon Garcia. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Cindy Seferi. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. D1J, Approval for Legal Defense. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the following. Whereas, in accordance with Education Law, Section 3811, and/or Public Officers Law, Section 18, as well as under any other applicable legal or insurance policy provisions, current employees Wanda Ortiz Rivera, Ann Palmer, Rosa Maria Cortezi, and Kevin Coyne collectively, Brentwood UFSD, have submitted timely written requests for legal defense and indemnification regarding an action titled William King Moss III versus Board of Education, Brentwood Union Free School District et al., docket number 23-CV-6571, whereas there are allegations in the above-mentioned legal action arising from the performance of Brentwood UFSD's exercise of their official duties and responsibilities, and whereas Brentwood UFSD does not waive any rights that it may have to challenge any aspect of this legal action, including but not limited to improper service of the legal action, and now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby designates a law firm designated by NYSER to represent Brentwood UFSD in above-mentioned legal action. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Hassan Ahmed. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Brandon Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. We have a walk-in resolution today regarding child safety zone study. D1K. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby authorizes the district to take the necessary steps to have a study conducted regarding the potential establishment of a child safety zone. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Hassan Ahmed. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Julia Burgos. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? So moved. E1A, student enrollment. Don't have any figures at the moment. The June special education enrollment figures will be submitted at the August 2025 meeting. F1 through 4 are miscellaneous items, board action memos, principals' reports, the SLT meeting minutes of June 12, 2025. The Board of Education business meeting will be, the next Board of Education business meeting will transpire on August 21st, 2025. We open the floor up to public comment. Do we have any questions or comments for the community at this time? Julie, do we have anything?
It's like that, don't you?
We'll just give Julie a second to log in. And if not, we'll get right to old and new business.
Help yourself to cake and water in the interim.
Yes, please take a cake break. I'm a little slow. Didn't work. I think I did the.
All right, we don't
Ready?
have anything. Yeah, I don't have anything. Okay, Wanda, the floor is yours.
So good evening again. I just would like to start by saying that on, I think it's August 21st, we are going to have the first, the annual kickoff to school event at East Middle School. It will take place on the 21st from 3 to 5:30 p.m. I would like to welcome the entire community to attend this event. We're going to have backpacks and snacks for kids. Please stop by, and tomorrow you will receive more on this event. We also want to let everyone know, the community, that we have teachers here at Central Administration helping parents enroll in Parent Square and in school. You can contact is 631-972-1135. I will let everyone know tomorrow. I am going to send an email just with this information, but I just want to let the community know that we have someone here helping the parents with this. And then I would love to show you some numbers that I have here for our graduating class of 2025, the class of 2025, and just take a look at this, because this is really great, and I think this is something that has to be celebrated, and we will have cake right after this, but you do need to see these. Okay, let's take a look at these numbers here. So 82% of our students are attending college immediately right after they graduated. 7% are taking time to grow, and this is fine, but to travel and explore. 5% are entering the workforce immediately. 5% are going to attend a career and technical program, and 1% are going into a military service, into the military. And we have 1,340 students graduating. Our students were accepted into Columbia University, Cornell University, MIT, University of Chicago, Carnegie Mellon University, George Washington University, Boston University, University of Florida, Berklee College of Music, and Howard University, and many, many, many more universities. The scholarships, the number that the students were awarded, $2,080,780 in scholarships. Just Brentwood High School night, and I know that many of you participated and donated for them as well. We were able to give our students $250,000. Northwell Scholars, $76,000. MBK Fellows, $6,000 plus 4 laptops. And from outside organizations, 2 have full tuition. The Head STEM incentives, $28,280. And the colleges and the universities provided $1,720,500 for our students. This is really, really incredible, and I'm so thankful for this. Now, when it comes to Graduation Plus and what we're doing for our students and the commitment that we have to ensure that this vision becomes an action, right? 920 students earned at least 1 college credit before they graduated. 58 students completed 1 semester of college, and 24 students completed 1 full year of college also. And I just think that we have to applaud for that, because this is really incredible. So they're ready. And then we had a total of 287 students that earned certifications. 188 students were certified in trades through BOCES. 10 students the HVAC, ACE with CNN. 75 with become either phlebotomy technicians, pharmacy technicians, certified nurses aid. And then we have 51 students having the certification for lifeguarding, and 32 students with CPR and first aid. It's really, really incredible what we're doing here. And I just wanted to show you this, and together we're really living the vision of Graduation Plus, and thank you for this. And I'm so proud of our students for being able to do this. And someone asked me today, do you have the number for both? Meaning, I think it was you, Brandon, right? He says to me, do you know how many have college credits and how many also had a trade? We have many of them as well. I don't have that number, but I do remember sitting at the college room and with one of our students, and she said, Miss, I'm taking college credits and I am going to become a phlebotomy technician. She was there because she wanted to get that done as well. She knew the opportunities that she had here, and I thank the Board of Education for your commitment, the educators for continuing to inspiring our students and to let them know what we have available for them here to offer them. And next year, we just hire a CTE coordinator right now. So, and a math coordinator. Thank you. Thank you very much for everything, and like I said, I just wanted to show these numbers.
Yeah, and I just wanted to make mention of our former student, Randy Ramnarans, who I'm sure many of you have seen it in the media and on TV, social media platforms. He was the 16th round pick for the Kansas City Royals, and congratulations to Randy and his family. I'm sure they are over the moon with this accomplishment, and it just lets you know that good things do happen in Brentwood. So congratulations to Randy. He is a 2022 Brentwood graduate, and I believe his brother graduated this year as well, Jaden. So congratulations to them all, and I can't wait to see Randy on the mound. So.
That was excellent. I actually looked at his grades I said, let me see how he did in school.
was a
He
great-
did very
he was a
well,
great
an excellent student, an excellent
Very good
student. Yes, an excellent student, yes,
Yes.
very nice. Congratulations, yes. And I tried to call his home, and that number that we have is no longer in service. So if the mother can call me, please, at that 631-434-2325. Please give me a call.
Yes,
Very nice.
thank you. Anything else from the board? All right, I will call this meeting to adjourn at 9:15 p.m. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Brandon Garcia. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Julia Burgos. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. Thank you, everyone. Please take some cake.